Hi everyone, this is your menopausal mayhem mother, alias Emma Skeets. I'm doing a little bit of, not myth busting really, but desperately trying to take away the stigma that goes with being a menopausal woman. One of the things that's really difficult is that we are just so incredibly British, aren't we? I mean, I'm British. I'm imagining thousands of you, all 5 of you that are watching, are also British, but we tend to hide away from stuff like this. And actually, the menopause is a really, really natural part of our existence. It's a phase that we go through. There is no side door. There is no escape route. There is no little tunnel you can go underneath. You just have to fucking go through the thing. But what I'm trying to do with my work, and I write a page, and if you're hearing any noises in the background, don't think that that's part of the menopausal noise. That's my dog, who's just grumbling because there's somebody in the kitchen and he wants food. Anyway, so there are lots of symptoms that come with the menopause, and many of them can be debilitating and embarrassing, and also sometimes they can be very antisocial. I've touched on the stigma that goes with the lack of libido. I thought I'd go straight in there hard. For want of a better expression. That was a really, really poor analogy, but there you go. That's part of the brain fog. So I'm going to touch on today really quickly lack of memory, because I went into surgical menopause and was absolutely convinced that I had hit early onset Alzheimer's, because brain completely memory loss like I've never known before. Just to give you an example, in fact, I'm going to give you a few examples. I couldn't find my car keys, for example, which is one of those things that happens fairly regularly, and it's nothing to be alarmed about, and most people go through it anyway without being menopausal. However, I went through my handbag and I found within my handbag a chicken fillet wrapped in cellophane, and I instantly knew where my car keys were. They were in the freezer. And that is the kind of thing that happens all the time. I have taken my dog to the vet to have all his vaccinations, have got to the counter, got out of my car, walked to the veterinary surgery, got to the counter, and sorry about that, and no dog at home. So not only did I not take the dog and realize when I got out of the car, where's the fucking dog, still not noticed until I got into the veterinary surgery, and they still laugh about it to this day. In fact, I've got a horrible feeling there's a plaque up on the wall about it. I have driven my children to school in the pouring rain because I'm a nice mummy. Got home, they're still in the car. Little fuckers didn't say anything. I have reported my car stolen 3 times because I have driven to school and then walked home. Got to the driveway, no car, instantly car's been stolen. Fortunately, the local bobbies now know me quite well. So look, these things happen all the time. I spend 50% of my life looking for things that I can't find. And invariably what I've done is I've put them in a safe place and then forgotten what that safe place is. So there you go. That memory loss is really, really normal. So if you're finding that literally for another example, gone into my doctor's surgery, and obviously this is pre-lockdown, and the first thing they say is, you can have your name, please. And there's nearly always a good 7 or 8 second delay where I have to think, who the fuck I am? What is my name? And that's really worrying. And they do sometimes look at you and think, I know what you're here for. And it's got feckle to do with the menopause, but it's the kind of thing that happens. So if you suddenly wake up, and even if you're still having regular periods and everything else feels normal, but you're kind of wondering, you're walking into rooms and going upstairs several times and just doing all the things that you are not supposed to have done, or you can't work out while you're in a room. I've done it and it's been the loo. That's how bad it is. Anyway, so don't worry too much about that. It's a very, very normal situation. The other thing I wanted to touch on was, sort of brain fog, which is part of the memory loss, but also it's really, really disorientating, because where you used to be able to think really clearly in life, about certain aspects of what's going on in your world, whether it's doing the school run or your work, and actually all of a sudden things become really cloudy and you're not quite sure what's going on. You're not going mad. you're turning into me, which tragically is kind of the same thing. But no, jokes aside, it's a menopausal symptom. So brain fog and memory loss, these things are so normal. And I cannot tell you, I have touched the tip of the iceberg with the things that have happened to me, the things that I have forgotten, the things that I have left behind, the things, I mean, as I say, the police know me so well. Because I just forget. I forget everything. You go to Tesco to get a bottle of milk, you come out with £300 worth of product, and you know, it's everything from 48 cabbages to packets of crisps and no fucking milk, and then you wonder why you're skint. So yeah, it's a really normal thing. And my advice at the end of every single one of these videos is going to be, first of all, don't ever think you're not menopausal. Second of all, don't be fobbed off. And I'm not knocking GPs, by the way, not in a million years. I will never knock GPs. I think they're amazing, in fact, most incredible medics, but they are exactly what they say on the tin. They are general practitioners, and they're also right now currently massively overwhelmed. And menopause is not deadly. If you're feeling anxious, depressed, or worried about this memory loss, this brain fog, don't worry, it's the menopause. So get yourself onto HRT. HRT is safe. HRT is now bioidentical. That basically means that the HRT that gets prescribed, generally speaking, by private practitioners, which I would definitely recommend if you're going to spend money on having your freaking roots done, which I need to do. Then you can afford to go and see a private practitioner, and they will change your life. But don't worry about the memory loss. It's so normal. And if you wake up one morning and literally you are walking around the house wondering, when did I move in here? That's happened. It's part of the menopause. So don't panic. And keep tuning in to these ridiculous podcasts of mine. I'm going to be interviewing a lot of menopausal women, some famous, some not. But it is the most natural part of life, just like getting your periods. I don't get periods anymore. I just rust. Oh, was that necessary? Sorry, just thought I'd bring a little bit of lightness to this. But it is the most natural part of your existence. And what the menopause basically is, in fact, it should have its name changed, is estrogen deficiency. Your hormones are flying all over the place, which is sending you, and that's another thing I'm going to touch on. Next podcast is going to be about mood swings. I was a little bit perturbed earlier on because my husband, I found him, it was awful. He was slouched face down in the back garden. Fucking dog had dug him up again. So that's the next one, mood swings, where you just literally want to go, 1 minute you're absolutely fine, the next minute you want to murder everybody. Perfectly normal. Get onto HRT, get speaking to a specialist, stop worrying. And also remember, menopause can start at any time, even when everything down below is all happening okay, it's all cool. You still could be going into the perimenopause. And so there'll be other symptoms like the ones I've just explained. I strongly recommend you laugh at them. I have spent a lot of my time, I have 200,000 followers, something like that, because I am a complete twat. And I share these ridiculous instances with the people who follow me. And it's all about keeping it real, because I am so fucking sick to death of perfection and women who say that, you know, everything is marvelous. It sometimes isn't. But you know what? The menopause is not an illness, and it can be controlled. It has to be dealt with. Let's deal with it, because quite frankly, from 40 until 70 is our time. And anyone that tells you that you're coming to the end of your world because your bones ache, you can't remember a freaking thing, you don't know who you are, you want to kill everybody. Actually, this is the harvest time. You've sown all your seeds, you've done everything, you've worked freaking hard to get here. You're here. Let's enjoy it. Let's have some fun. And start. But yeah, sorry, I'm really late. 4:30. Yeah, I'm really late for my gin session. Anyway, lots of love to you all. Keep tuning in. I'm going to break the stigma of the menopause, because so many people like to treat it as an illness. It's not, and there are ways out of it. Laughter is the best fucking medicine, let me tell you. And I laugh a shitload at myself, and I'm going to let you guys laugh with me. And I'm actually, the trouble is, I would love to tell you an amazing joke now. Can't fucking remember any. Brain fog, memory loss. I'm going to write some down. All right. See you next time. Take care. Tune in maybe tomorrow. Who knows if I can remember.